Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this extended interview with Laurel and Dan, where they share how to maintain a schedule as a creative freelancer and musician. Hey Dan and Laurel.
Hey
Hello.
there.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, I'm sure it's really hard to create and maintain a schedule that you can both be available for and to maintain it throughout the whole entire time that you're touring and doing all of these different things. So, how do you stay focused and dedicated as musicians?
Setting some parameters around what you need to accomplish in a day. I mean, day to day it can be different, but I think there's needs that we all have as well, like getting enough sleep and eating good food and getting some exercise. Those are really important
And doing
to
the dishes.
to expand upon just the basic needs. I mean, we have a need to keep up with our chops, practice our instruments, warm up our voices, and prepare whatever music we're going to be playing, if it's original music that we're going to be performing, or if we're playing for a wedding and they have special requests we need to learn, or I have a student. Every day can be a little bit different as far as the overall preparation that needs to happen. Sometimes we're in a real booking mode and we need to spend a lot of time on the computer booking gigs and networking with people, or sometimes in the fall we have a lot of conferences that'll come up and we have certain timelines for that. So I guess the day to day, there's certain things that pretty much always need to happen, such as the basic stuff like eating. But then hopefully we're practicing every day at least a little bit, at least checking in with the instrument. It's nice when there's a few hours, but we also generally need to spend some time on the computer every day. And I think for me, just creating boundaries around the computer is really important, because email can just eat up so much time. Social media can eat up so much time, and it's important. But then when I get to the end of the day and I haven't been able to practice, if I wasn't able to get outside and get some fresh air, then I really feel like I don't know, like something was stolen away from me or something. I mean, I just don't feel quite complete. And when we're on tour, then that schedule is pretty different too. I mean, there's a lot of driving and there's not a lot of time for extra things. I kind of like it in some ways because a lot of the extraneous stuff has to fall away, but we still, I really, I mean, exercise is really important to me, and I do it quite religiously when I'm at home, but then on the road it can be more difficult. So finding ways to get my heart rate up a little bit every day. We have this 7-minute workout thing, this app on my phone that at least if we do that, before we go on an 8-hour drive to our next gig or something, then that feels good. For me, creating boundaries around the computer is the most important because it can just eat up so much time. And I thought, well, what would make the biggest difference over time for me, instead of going on like Facebook in the morning. And I thought, well, if I set aside time to meditate every day, which, I was doing sporadically for many years, but I was like, I want to do this every day because it puts my mind in a good state. And I said, okay, well, I have to do that before I check email or go on Facebook. And then I'm trying to learn a bit of French because that's what Dan's family speaks. So, okay, I'm going to go on my Duolingo app, and I'm not going to go on any other apps or anything before then. I'm just ready to get into my day, and I'm more focused to just think about what I really need to do that day rather than just kind of mindlessly scrolling through Facebook or something like that. I don't know. What about you, Dan?
Well, I do a lot of mindless scrolling on Facebook. And but aside from that, I find for songwriting, I used to sit down and write every day. I try to do that a little bit now too, but really what I'm trying to do is at least be present for the muse. So I play some chords and songs, and that's how it sparks, right? It's like there's a couple chord, you'll throw together, and all of a sudden you're off and running into a new song. But I do find that forcing songwriting is just not going to work. So I've slowed down in the songwriting a lot. Like it used to be like I used to write like maybe 10 songs a month, and now I write maybe like 1 or 2 a month. But at least the songs are inspired. Day to day, I guess I tend to wake up and get out the room and hit the computer. Just want to see what's going on in the world. And then I also, because I really care about people. Like these days, like Laurel and I, we'll go out for hikes and stuff like that. That's something you try to do at least once a day, and then the 7-minute workout thing. That's pretty good. I probably added a couple years to my life doing this. And so it's been a nice lease on life in a way.
You get really caught up in social media and everything else that you have to do on your computer that it does take a lot out of your day and your time. And being out in nature and being healthy really plays a huge role in that.
It's a balance. It's a constant balance. Day to day, it can be different. I mean, I just accept that some days, we're just going to find whatever food we can eat. And it might not be the freshest or, the most nourishing food, but, tomorrow we'll look on Yelp and we'll find a better restaurant or, whatever when we're traveling. Or, some days it's like, it's just there's too many deadlines. There's too much we have to do. I can't go on a walk. I'm super bummed, but tomorrow it'll be different. I think overall it's not so much that day to day everything has to be balanced, but hopefully week to week and definitely month to month, it's all balanced out. So all the needs are being met. And I think, one thing with us not just being musical partners, but married, we're often in business mode. And I think for us as a couple, making some time just to be going out to dinner, not just to talk about, what we have to do, just be a couple, and I think that's one thing that we could do a little bit better of. I mean, the career is so consuming and we love it so much and it's our passion. It's amazing that we share that passion and we can commiserate and we can prop each other up and we do all that really, really well. But yeah, it's just sometimes, it's nice just to be people who are in love, and who are hanging out and enjoying life. So that's one balance that we're trying to do better.
I'm with my partner as well. And that's one of the things that we are trying to do more of, especially when I think it's especially harder when you are doing something that you really love, because then it just takes over your whole entire life and you really have to really listen to each other and realize that it's not just about work, it's also about relationships that you have as well with other people and your partner and your friends and your family. So it's hard to do that though. That's a hard balance.
It really is. And friendships too. I mean, for me, I'm a little bit more introverted and I have some, a handful of really good friends, but, making time for them is often hard. And when we go on tour, I often feel bad that I'm not really keeping up with them because I'm meeting so many different people every single night. And I just, sometimes after a week or two, I get to the point where I just kind of want, I retreat to the bathroom for a few minutes and just feel like, oh, okay, I'm by myself. This is so nice, because I don't get that. So reaching out to friends and family is just like, I can't take on anymore. Right. But that's a balance too. And when I come back home, I try to make time for them. And it's a constant juggling act for sure. But I think we strike a pretty good balance overall. And
like I'm back in my hometown visiting here, and it's been great to be home. I spent the first few weeks just on total defrag mode, and it was great. And then I started realizing, I was like, I'm going to go visit my friends, but I'm going to visit the people who reach out to me, because my whole life, pretty much literally everything I'm doing, it's like I'm always inquiring, I'm reaching out, I'm booking, I'm sending an inquiry. It's like all the time. It sucks to come back home and then have to sit on the computer all afternoon sending out inquiries to visit with friends. So I thought, I'm going to try this time around. I'm just going to see, who is sending me a message to say, hey, I'd like to see you and see how you're doing it. And then they are like number one priority. And it's worked out well because I have like an amazing amount of connections here. And I really love a lot of folks and I'd love to see more people. Some of them will just come to our shows. Some will, make a point of reaching out. And I think that's important probably for a lot of people to try out sometime. Just be like, okay, I'm just going to see who's coming my way. Especially if you're in a business where you're always doing the reaching out all the time. It's nice to just be like, okay, I'm going to step back and let it come my way a bit. And that's a nice ebb and flow you could get into as well. Because maybe the next time I come home, I'll be doing the reaching out and I'm okay with it. But it's just, I'm trying it this way this time, and it's worked out really nicely.
Well, that's a really great exercise to do. I'm going to try that now too.
Yeah. Nothing personal. Everyone's still my friend. That I'm not going to, sit there on the computer, like busting my head going, wow, there's like literally 100 people I want to see. And another thought I had, which I think I might actually do this, and I think I recommend this for people traveling, is to find a centralized cafe or something that you actually like and say, okay, I'm going to go and meet, I'm going to be here, on a Sunday afternoon. That's a good time to go. I'm going to be there at 2 p.m. If you want to come by, say hi, great. And I'll sit there with my computer and I'll be doing some networking or whatever. And very good chance you're going to have at least maybe 5 to 10 people pop in, because it's kind of an open invite. There wasn't as much driving around, and it's like the people who are meant to be coming and the ones who want to be there and all that. And it's really great.
And especially with both of you traveling so much, it's hard to get out there when you're already at home to travel to more people, and it becomes so stressful. That's such a great idea. Another great tip there, Dan and Laurel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you so much for all of this incredible tip that you just gave us. Of these incredible tips actually that you gave us. I really appreciate it. So if our listeners want to know more about you, where can they find you both?
We are at danandlaurel.ca, DANANDLAUREL, and it's .ca. And from there, they can also find personal websites and, Facebook and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan and Laurel. I really appreciate all of the knowledge that you gave us.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks,
Debbie.